Ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Bum, bum. New tier lists. I hope everybody's ready. The last tier list, it was a prediction. I was just looking at the numbers, crunching them, running in my head, but I'm going to be honest with you folks, you lovely, beautiful Smite players. It's been a while since I've ran some numbers. My last math class was significant era ago. And I may have miscalculated a few things, so we're here with an updated tier list to right the wrongs of my past. I'm going to slap everybody down on the tier list. Try to go a little more in depth this time, a little more informational. Achilles. Get to good old Achilles. Last time I think I said Achilles was a little above average. From what I've seen this past week after the update, I think so many people are better now that some of the above average gods have kind of slipped on down into average. And some of the average gods, well, let's just say they ain't so average anymore. All right. He's Achilles is a good old god. He's got the execute, always going to be valuable. He's got a stun, tanky, a lot of mobility, everything you want. Agni, I kind of want to put him here, but I really just don't think he's as good as Achilles is. He's got a lot of ways to apply, anti-heal, got a lot of ways to proc Soul Reaver and like Soul Gem and all those good items now. But his damage just really doesn't come online until the very end of the game. And you gotta hit like 6 abilities to do what another god's 1 ability would do. So I just don't think he's as viable. Speaking of not as viable, Amuzen and Alpuk, neither of them have any mobility, which in my eyes, it's hard for a character to be good if they don't have any mobility. There's how much damage there is in Smite and people just popping up on you and having one-shot capabilities. Like, you need to be able to get out of there or to go in. And these guys can't really do that. They're good at applying effects on their abilities and like anti-heal and Heart Seeker and Soul Reaver and all that stuff, but I don't know, man. They're just not as hitting as some of these other gods. Amaterasu, good old classic Amaterasu. I'd say she's in a better balanced spot. She will melt you down if you're lacking. Her ult is very valuable. She's better late game than she is early game, but early game ain't too shabby. And I think all the hunters are moving on up with this new bow, crit meta in. Hunters be hitting. That's all I'm going to say. And Anher, he's got a jump. He's got mobility. He's got CC. He's got a CC immune ult. Like, he's got it all. Anubis. I think Anubis is about... I think I'll move all those guys down a little bit. I think Anubis is about B tier. I mean, the new items are nice. The Spear of the Magus definitely helps Anubis, but it helps literally every character. And so that doesn't really make Anubis rise up in the ranks too much. Ao Kuang, I have not seen incredible success, although the new ring does benefit him in the mage tree. So I think he is going to be slightly moving on up in the world, but I just haven't seen enough success to give him, honestly, above that B. Aphrodite, I still think she's pretty good. I'm going to leave her there. Apollo, A+. With the new hunter buffs and the new items, just all the hunters are a little above average, in my opinion. They're just all slapping. Arachne, up into the S tier. She just hits the new golden blade, the new serrated edge blade. You just buy both of those items and you kill everybody. Like, everyone just Perishes, you know, get a little crit if you're feeling fancy, get a little pen if you've got tanks to deal with. She just slaps heavily. Ares, I believe all the tanks are honestly going to have to go down a little peg. They just aren't hitting. Everyone has more damage now, and armor isn't as good. And, you know, Ares kind of relies a lot on building armor and then getting power from his auras, but I don't know. They just don't hit like they used to. Artemis, I had Artemis in D tier, but after this week of vigorous testing, you know, seeing in the field, both in the field and out of the field, I'm going to go as generous as B tier for her. I think she's about on the Amus and Anubis Alquang level. I think I'd rather have an Artemis than a Outplash. I was being a little hard on her, you know. Wasn't my vision, my judgment was a little clouded. I wasn't seeing as clearly. Ardio, I think she's about on that same level of just like you can frag on these characters. Like you can get 20 kills on these characters and be lording. But you know, you got to be really good and you got to be playing well and they have to be playing not that well against you and a lot of things, there's a lot of ifs that you got to check off. Whereas some of these other characters, you know, they don't have as much ifs. Like there's if they have CC, if they have, you know, Arachne doesn't really care that much. She's kind of just gonna mow you down with her items now. But if they got all that, you know, Anubis and Artemis, they kind of care about it. Athena, I think just all the Guardians and a lot of the Warriors just aren't as potent as they once were. There just aren't as like unkillable hosses, which is sad because you know I'm a Guardian boy. I like me some big tanky head ass front lines to just run in and disrupt and cause chaos and be a nuisance. But you know, seems like just the straight up damage is more of a nuisance these days. A Wheelix. I had a Wheelix way up here, but I'm actually going to put her. I think like down here, dude. The Golden Blade and the new other items, Serrated Edge, they just don't really help her as much as they would help Arachne. So I don't think she's really slapping that much. But speaking of slapping that much, Baba Yaga. She just hits. Maybe I'm going to do this. Baba Yaga just slaps, dude. The buffs, they've just been like progressively buffing her. And she's just so nice. She's definitely very hard to play and unintuitive because you kind of just have to keep one eye. You got to keep this nice little lazy eye that Baba has on your passive meter to see what your next ability is. So you can know where to aim it without even having to aim it. And you know, that takes a lot of time to figure out, and she's not easy to play at first, and her ult is so hard to hit. But if you can hit those things and you're pulling it off, Baba is definitely very slept on. And I think just an absolute lord. Bacchus. Things just ain't so nice for Bacchus these days. Let me be honest. You know, maybe I'll put him in here. I don't know, like he's got the early pressure, but he's just too interruptible out of that burp. And he's like damage oriented, but like doesn't really do enough damage. I don't know, maybe he is. I'm just gonna leave him there for now. Bakasura, straight up to S. Honestly, S plus. These buffs did Bakasura so nice. He's Bakasura. If you guys don't know, which you probably don't know a single thing about my Bakasura gameplay, but he's the only assassin that I really enjoy to play. Everyone else is just like not as. They just don't have the Bakasura factor of just sticking to people like you're glued onto their spine and just there's no escape from you. Your ult is AoE auto attacks that can crit, so you can hit 3 people all at once with a crit and just munch, 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 munch. And he's just so good with the new item changes. And they changed some of the jungle camps to just be one singular minion, which Boxer can just immediately eat. So you don't have, it takes half a second and you already have that minion farmed and you just keep moving to the jungle. He's probably one of the best junglers. Him and Arachne are just up there lording. Baron Samedi, though, you know, the Baron days are over, fellas and lasses. I'm afraid to say it. He came out strong, but I think he came out a little too strong, and now they've just kind of had him slightly under the point of averageness, which I do think is now about Achilles and Amaterasu, as Agni used to be average. You know, the status quo used to be an Agni average, but there's just so much better gods now that I honestly think the entire bar has just moved up, leaving gods like Agni, you know, Amusin, Anubis, just kind of behind in the dust. Speaking of behind in the dust, Bastet, she's just seen better days. She's pretty dusty. Gotta dust her off, you know, maybe rework her rework and just rework the whole thing, because I don't know, like maybe she'll one shot somebody late game, but that's if she doesn't get one shot first, you know, I don't know. Bologna, I was sleeping on Bologna in the first tier list, but after these new attack speed changes and item changes, I've seen some Bolognas with this just absolutely fragging. So I do think I'm have to move Bologna up. I've just been wrecked by her. I've given her a couple tries, but, you know, played her out. Always doing well. You know, she might not have the most like CC that you want from a warrior, but her ult and just going in off that, like she's got some pretty good initiation. So I got to move her up. I don't know if she's quite as good as these two, but she's like she's close. The new sledge and just building a bunch of hammers on her and just sticking to people. It's pretty nice. Cabrakan, I don't know. It's a sad time for Cabrakan. I think I got to move him down a little bit. He used to just be the frag lord and just clap everybody, but now there's so much more just damage and clappers in the game that I feel like he just doesn't really be hitting as much. Camazotz, this new golden blade and all these other items, you know, they don't really benefit him as much. So I do think he's just slightly below the impact line. I know he gets picked a lot in the SPL and all that noise, but I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't do enough besides sustaining. Like all he is just sustain and a little bit of damage. Just doesn't really cut it these days. Cerberus, I think people are sleeping on Cerberus, but I do think he's got to put him down here for now. You know, Cerberus just seen better days. You know, they're not picking him a lot in the pro games. They're not picking him a lot in ranked. He's not really slapping like he should. Or I want him to. You know, he's just a good boy trying to be good, but he's just not quite as good as some of these other characters. Cernunos, I think he's just all around classic hunter. The new hunter items have just made all the hunters a lot nicer. Like they just shred through anything in front of them. Everything in front of them is getting shred through. Chalk, sorry Chalk, but you just don't do enough, my man. Like you're good in Joust, because your axe takes up the whole lane. But in Conquest, man, you're just not bringing it to the table. Just doesn't do enough of what you want out of a solo laner. Chunga. Gotta put it down here. She's fun to play. You know, she's a nice character, but she just doesn't slap as hard as Baba Yaga or Aphrodite. You know, like why pick Chunga when you can pick Aphro, you know, or Baba if you're looking for some damage. Chernabog, I think Chernabog is A plus. He's super safe. It's basically just Apollo 2 and just can rotate anywhere. Like you can go push a Phoenix, take the Phoenix, and then immediately rotate to a team fight. And like that is just incredible value out of a hunter. Not so incredible value out of a hunter is Chiron. I've seen the buffs. I've been fragged by Chiron. But I just don't know and don't think he's as good as some of these other schmucks. Kronos. Newsflash. Mage ADCs are back. The new Ring of Hecate just is... It's absurd. It's just absurd. You just build that first item and just clap every single soul that exists against you. Might even move him up here, dude. I think the mage ADCs are feeling nice right now. Cthulhu. I think he's still just so valuable in his ult. And just his whole kit. Like, sure, he's slower. But, man, he just brings to the table, you know, what you're looking for. Maybe he's like Baba, because Arachne and Bakasura can kill Cthulhu. Like, it's possible. But Cthulhu can also kill them. It's kind of just how they're playing. So I think that kind of lumps them into the same group. Cucullin. He's nice, you know, he's got a lot of lane pressure. He'll win lane, but then when it comes to the game and he rotates over and it's like late game, he doesn't win games. And that kind of makes him just kind of bad. Kind of bad. Bad. Really bad. Alright. Almost good. Moving on. Cupid. These new Cupid buffs have made him good now. Cupid's good? He is. His lane clear slaps. His ult, you want to use it less for like initiation because people can kind of run out of it, and you want to really use it for its cripple. Like if you see someone trying to use their dash away or something, like you see Baba trying to do a little pot dash away, boom, drop the ult on her, drop the heart bomb on her. She's getting wrecked. So I think that moves them up into the good tier. Hunters are just slapping these days. Daji. I think that Daji is good. I think she's a little better than good. I think she's a little better than good. And so I'll change this into a little better than good. Discordia, I think she's also a little better than good. The new spear, Just Discordia's poke and just disruption and ability to just spread that, and safety with her dash or ultimate. Discordia seems pretty nice. Erling Shin. He's toeing the line. He's toeing the line here, folks. I feel like he used to just be the best all around, and then there's so many new good characters and buffs to other characters. He's good. He's definitely just good. Still, he's not. He's definitely not almost good. He is good. I think he just sits right in here along with some of these other warriors. Warriors are feeling like good now, but there's a lot of people that are feeling pretty nice. Fafnir. Sorry, buddy. Big old dragon. Everybody loves him, but I just don't think he's in the best spot. Like, his coerce on paper seems like it would be good in a hunter meta and an auto attack meta. But then when you pick Fafnir and like you're playing in these games, he's just like, I don't know. He's not doing as good as I feel like he should be. I feel like he should be up here. You know, his kit, he just makes auto attacks faster. But in reality, when I play with him and I play him, it just doesn't seem like he's quite as good as some of these other schmucks. Seems like he's kind of down here with the Ares and Athenas. Fenrir, bad. Golden Blade, Serrated Edge, they just... I mean, Serrated Edge, I guess, helps him a little bit, but Fenrir, like, you're just... He's a good boy, but kind of like Cerberus, he's just not as good as you would want. Freya. Whoops. Better than good. The new mage ring has just made all the mage ADCs absolutely slap, dude. They just wreak havoc. So much attack speed, so much lifesteal. They steal enemies' power and get it for themselves. They're just hitting. You play Freya and you're going to be like, wow, Freya hits. And it is pretty good now. Ganesh. Is Ganesh better than Ares, Athena, Bacchus, Cerberus, and Fafnir? No. Don't think he is. I don't think he is, unfortunately. He's a Hess. He sucks to play against. You're never going to go against Ganesh and have a good time. But I just don't know. The tanks just got slumped with all the new penetration items. Speaking of tanks that got slumped, Geb's shield can now be countered by 2 relics. So Geb, you know, he used to be pretty nice. But now I think he's just like good. I'm tempted to even put him almost good because his early game clear is the worst. But that Geb shield towards the late game, even in the early game, it's good. Like Geb shield's always good. So Geb is good. Guan Yu. Poor guy Guan. He's just, you know, his tallow assault little shred thing. That just takes too long to go off. His ult just clunky. Doesn't really keep up with some of these other characters. You know, his sustain from the heal, it's nice, you know, it's alright, but why not just have an Aphrodite heal? Like, would I rather be healed by Guan Yu or Aphrodite, you know? Pretty simple. He's just not in the best spot right now, especially with all these new penetration items. Tanks in general kind of just took a little backseat in terms of the general Smite theme of things. Hachiman is good. You know what? Hachiman's a little better than good. One of the safest hunters The new items are just wonderful on him. He likes them. He's a little better than good now. Hunters are definitely slapping. Hades. He's got the highest win rate, right? So he can't not be good. But I feel like he's not the best for some reason. I feel like a lot of people can just kind of jump out of his ult. But I think he's good. I think I'd rather have Hades than Agni and Baron. So I think Hades is just in a good spot. The Spear of the Mag is, it does him pretty nice with his ult and with him dashing in and then stomping on you. I think he's good. I think he's in a good spot. Hebo, I think Hebo is also in a good spot. He will one-shot you, but he's also pretty unsafe. Kind of makes up for it. He's the classic signature glass cannon style character. And I think he's just in a good spot. Like, Hebo 100% is better than Agni. 100% is better than Anubis. But I don't know if he's quite at the levels of Discordia and Aphrodite, and especially not Baba. So I think I gotta put him in just classic good tier. Heimdall slaps, but I honestly do think that these three characters will slap. I mean, one-on-one, Heimdall might wreck Cthulhu, but I think Cthulhu just brings a little more to the table than the Heimerdinger. I don't know. I might put him up here. I think he is. I think he's a little better than Baba. Is he though? I don't know. I'll leave him there for now, but he might move. Hell is good, and with the new spear, she's feeling pretty nice, dude. She's feeling pretty dang nice. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think I would rather have Hell than Aphrodite and all these other goons. And I think she's about the same tier as Baba, dude. People are sleeping on Hell. People are sleeping on Baba. They both just slap heavily. Hera's good. I don't know, dude. I might put her down here. She's just not that safe. And I feel like she's pretty easily dove. But I also don't like going against her. I think she's good. I think she's just good. Now she's got a lot. Argus is just a thumper. Always nice. Hercules. They've been really hitting these Hercules items hard. First they nerfed all the movement speed. Then they nerfed all the protections. But I still think Hercules is just so valuable on a team. If you're good on Hercules, you're playing him support, it just sucks to go against, dude. Like, you just hate going against this guy when he's good. But I don't know if he's as good as some of these mage ADCs are now. Like, these characters just kind of frag. I don't know. He's towing the line. I think he's just better than these guys, though. A little better. Little bit better. Horus, I think he's in a good spot. Pretty balanced. But I don't know. I feel like, no, he is. He's good. Horus is good, for sure. They pick him a lot in the pro games. He frags. His early game slaps, his late game slaps, his ult is just god tier. He's good character, for sure. I think I'd put him up here. Hoo yee. Dude, I might even put Hui up here. Here's what I think about Hui, alright? If you are a complete lord and you're the best one on your team, you're always going to be carrying. You're usually going to be better than who you're against. Hui is the pick. If you're extremely skilled on Hui, can hit those bounces, can 1v1 people easily, he's one of the best guys for that. Definitely better than these guys. But if you're just like an average player, dude, you're not going to be able to bring out what Hui really has. But if you're just an average player, you're not really going to be able to bring out what any of these guys have. Because they're hard to play. Like, they're harder than average. So I think if I'm using that basis to judge them, I gotta use it to judge Hui. I don't know. I don't know if he's quite as good as Baba, though, bro. Baba just thumps. A tentative S tier. Maybe a little below. I'm putting him below. I can't. S tier is just too good for him. S plus. Lords. Broken. Okay. I think Hui is like on the line. He's kind of similar boat with Hercules, but I just can't put him as good as Baba in Hell. It feels wrong. Hunbats is good. The nerf to the ult, you feel it. You've seen it in your games. He's just not picked as much. Doesn't really benefit from any of the blades, but he is still better than these schmucks. I'd still rather have Hunbats than a Wheelix. The goddess of blank name that I shall not say. I feel like in actuality, this character is good. Like deep down, she is good. But right now, dude, I don't think she's that good. From what I've seen and from what I've played, like when I play her, I don't know, dude. Like, why pick her when you can pick her? You know? They both kind of do the same thing, but Discordia's just feel like a little better. Itsunami. Slapping right now with the Hunter meta, with the new attack speed items. Hits. Yanis. Hits. I want to put him in S tier. I think if you're lording on Yanis, he is S tier. But I just don't know if she's as good as Baba in Hell. Decisions I must make. Just what he brings to the team just cannot be matched. His portals, like portaling your teammates in and out, ulting across the map to do objectives and to backdoor the Titan, to do all these crazy things. Sitting in lane farming and then sniping somebody all the way across the map and getting the kill, while also staying in lane and getting farm. I just think Yanis is so good, dude. He's just incredibly hard to play. You gotta play him so different. Same with kind of like Heimdall Portals or Baba. Like, they're just a different character and they take a lot of getting used to. Like, if you can, like Apollo, you know, if you can play Apollo, you can probably play Chernobog and you can probably play these schmucks. But Yanis is a whole different breed. Jingwei, I think she's a little better than good. I still think she's the safest hunter, probably next to Heimdall. She just frags. Crit meta Jingwei just loves that, dude. She just eats people up. Almost want to put her in S tier, but I don't know. I still think Baba's better. And Hell. Oh, where? I don't know where she just went. She vanished. Oh, there she is. Oink. Yormy boy. I still think Yorm is a little above the status quo. The tank nerfs hurt. The breath nerf hurt. But Warrior's Blessing being gone, that feels so nice on his breath. Like people are melting to the breath. So I do think he's above these guys in terms of gameplay level. And just kind of what he brings to the team. Kali, I think with the new item changes, I don't know, I've seen Kali fragging and doing very well. I think she is a little, like, I think I would rather have a Kali than a, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think she's just a little better than Hunbats. It's hard to say. Getting through it. Khepri. I still think people are sleeping on Khepri. His ult is just so valuable. Just incredibly valuable. Like, say you have Kali and Khepri, alright? And then Kali goes in with her ult, kills a person, everyone's trying to kill her, they can't, and then Khepri puts his ult down on top of that. You're just gonna lose that fight. Like, you're just losing that team fight. Just bringing somebody back from the dead from a fight, as well as his CC, like, he just brings so much CC, like 5 seconds of crowd control is just absurd, dude. Imagine not being able to move for 5 seconds. You're dying. That's what Khepri brings. Arthropod. I thought the Glad nerfs would make Arthropod just booty butt. But, dude, he still seems to just be slapping in the games, dude. He seems to be doing it better than Achilles and Erlang. I don't know. Glad Shield nerfs didn't really tempt King Arthur. Like, he can just build the Soul Eater. He can just build the Sledge, and he just comes in like a wrecking ball, dude. Cole Cuck. I feel like Cole Cuck's still just kind of bad, dude. He's better than Anubis, though. He's better than Anubis. He's almost good. Almost good, but not quite. He's just easily slain, he's got clear, sure, but he doesn't have safety. He doesn't have, like, I don't know. He just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. Who does have it, though? Kumba. His crowd control is just absurd. Like, Khepri locks you down for 5 seconds. Kumba locks you down for, like, 7 seconds at least, if not more. So much CC. The CC king. The tank nerfs hurt, but when he can just sleep you for 3 seconds, you can't even attack him. Like, you don't even feel the nerfs because they're asleep. Kuzenbo. I think Kuzenbo's good now with the crit meta. Reflecting damage back onto these schmucks. Kuzenbo's kind of good. I'm going to be honest. I think he's better than Ganesh. Loki. Loki. I still think I'd rather have a Loki than a Finn. Well, dude, would I? I don't think I would. I think Loki's bad. I gave him too much credit last time. I was having fun playing Loki. Just clouded my judgment, but dude, he's just... He's just not that good, dude. Just not that good. Medusa, the Medusa buffs. I've buffed her up to where I think she is. Oh, dude. Still, I just gotta put her into almost good. I don't know. I think she is good. I think she's good. And she's toeing the line, alright? She's toeing the line. But because she got buffed, I've seen the buff in action. Like, she does the damage. I think she's good. Mercury, I think Mercury is also good. I think Mercury, the crit meta, it's feeling pretty nice on him. The new blade feels pretty nice on him. I think he's a little better than good. I think Mercury kind of be slapping. Merlin, I think Merlin is also a little better than good. I've been playing that Aang, Bang, Bang, and he's feeling nice, dude. Merlin is definitely feeling nice. He's feeling a little bit better than, Hebo or Hades would. Mulan, I think Mulan's good. But is she as good as Horus or Achilles? Sorry, Mulan. I don't think you're as good as Horus or Achilles, dude. I think they just bring a little bit more. So I gotta put you into almost good. Neith, I gotta put into kind of bad, dude. Neith is just kind of bad. The Neith buffs, she's still Neith. She still backflips and then immediately dies because you just backflip and everybody knows where you're gonna land, when you're gonna land. All the abilities are aimed right at where you're gonna land. And you land from your backflip and you're just dead. It sets you up for death. Her early game's nice. Her mid game's solid. Her late game's garbage. She sucks. Kind of bad. Dude. I'm saying she's bad. I'm just going to go out and say it. I think Neith is bad. Nemesis. I think Nemesis is almost good. I think you can do very well with her. You can do very well with any of these characters. Like, I've been killed 10 times in a row by Loki's before, and fucking, I don't think Neith's capable of that, she might be really bad. But I've definitely been styled on by every character before. You can do extremely well. But if you're putting Nemesis up against Bakasura, dude, or Arachne, she's just not good. Like, Achilles will do good against a Bakasura. Like, Bakasura will still win, but at least will do kind of good. Nemesis just kind of won't. Same with Neja. She's got the setup. Or he's got the setup. Always looks like a girl, like very feminine looking little ladyboy right there, but just does not have what it takes anymore to just fit in with the rest of these schmucks. Like, why go Neja, but you just go Mercury, Or these two lords. Absolute lordians over here. Nike. Where to put her? I think after the nerfs and after the change to shield items, I think she's still good. I think she went from really good to just good. Like, yes, in practice you can use a relic to counter her ult, but I haven't really seen that being done too much. Because people would rather buy, like, Blink and Beads than Aegis. So I still think she's pretty valuable. The Reflect basic attacks is really nice in the Hunter meta. The Disarm is really nice in the Hunter meta. I think she's just good. Nox. Kind of bad. Her early game clear is just abysmal, and it's all about clear these days. That's why Kukulkan's almost good. That's why characters like Merlin are good, and that's why Bakasura is just an S tier lord. Because he can just instantly clear the whole jungle. Nuwa. I think all the buffs have made Nuwa good. Ah! Nah, fuck Nuwa. She sucks. She's almost good. She's not as good as Hebo. I think a Hebo would beat Nuwa. As with the Hades, as with the Hera. I think they would all beat Nuwa and Medusa. Like one-on-one, Medusa versus Nuwa. Medusa's got that in the bag. So she's almost good. Odin, I think Odin is actually good. With all the other relics you gotta prioritize now, people aren't really wanting to pick up the ghost one that lets you go through his ult. So I found that you can get a lot of value out of his ults. The new sledge feels so nice on Odin. He's still valuable. He's still got the stun. He's still got the cage. I still like Odin. Oleron. Dude, Oleron? Dude, Oleron? Might be S tier, bro. Oleron might be S tier. The new ring on him feels just incredibly so broken. I can't even put it into words. But I don't know. I don't think he's as good as these three. Certainly not as good as these guys. He's still better than good. Osiris. Almost good Osiris. He's got the lane clear. He's got the lane bullying. He's going to win lane. You're never going to lose as Osiris in the lane. But when it comes to translating that into a game victory, you know, he just doesn't really do that as much as some of these other characters do. Like Osiris and King Arthur kind of do the same thing, but King Arthur will ult you and you'll die, and Osiris will ult you and it'll do about 100 or 200 damage tops. Pele, I think Pele's good. I don't think she's as good as Mercury. She's certainly not as good as Arachne or Bakasura. Dude, maybe I gotta move Daji down. I think I do. I'm gonna move Daji down here. And they're just good. I think Mercury's just better. This meta just doesn't really favor Daji. She's a good character. Like, her beats burning potential is lording. Persephone. I think Persephone's S tier for sure. Used to be S plus, but the nerfs came in pretty hot. And I think she's just simpleton S tier. I also think somebody's literally hammering nails into wood outside. So that's an excellent sound. Poseidon. Poseidon's just almost good, dude. He's kind of same tier with Agni. Nuwa, we're just like, why would you pick Poseidon? And you could pick Discordia or Persephone or Baba. You know, these guys just slap so hard. Poseidon just, his Kraken hurts, don't get me wrong, but, you know, these Hunter crit attacks also hurt, and Persephone's ult also hurts. A little bit better. Raijin, Raijin, better than good. I think he still slaps. Went from the best mage to still just a top tier contender. Created appliant ability effects like Soul Reaver and Anti-Heal and just slapping people from afar. Rama, I think Rama is a frag lord. I think he's up here with the big ball and better than good hunters and such. Just the crit meta is nice. Raw. Gotta do it to him. Raw's just not quite up here. Just not quite. bringing to the table what, like, I think I'd rather have a Hades over Ra a lot of times. And, like, why pick Ra when you can pick, Yanis or Hell? I don't know. Rat, slimy rat. Oh my god. Slimy rat might just be broken. I'm gonna be honest. Dashing into somebody for 700 damage in like the early and mid game when they only have like upwards of 1,000 health, like maybe 1,200 health. You dash in, more than half of that's just gone immediately, and then you stun them and they're just dead. Who lives through that? These guys don't. These guys don't. These guys don't. Crit Rat is lording. I've tried out Tank Rat too with the health build in like the solo lane or in the arena games. He's just feeling a little bit broken at the moment. I'm gonna be honest. He's just very, 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 very powerful. Ravana, I think he's good. Dude, I think he's almost good. I'm gonna be honest. These other guys are just bringing more. Scylla, she's good. The new Spear of the Mag is so nice on Scylla. You hit the root and then you hit the crush and it's just doing more damage. People are getting clapped by Scylla, left and right. Serket, almost good. The crit meta does help her a lot. She likes it, but just don't see her doing that well in my games. No, she just doesn't do as much as like some of these other characters do now. Like Rat, Arachne, and Baka are just so good with these new items, and Serket just doesn't really benefit from them. I mean, I think Serrated Edge would probably be really nice on her, actually, but just haven't seen her doing that well. Also haven't seen Set doing that well. He's got, like, Sustain or whatever in the solo lane. He's good at poking people out and boxing them down one-on-one, but he just sucks in team fights. Doesn't really do much. Scotty. She's just almost good, but man, just having no mobility. I've been playing a lot of Scotty with that Korra skin. I don't know, dude. I think Hunters are actually good. Which kind of means I gotta move Artemis up. Nah, I can't. I'm moving her back down. She's almost good. Sobek's good. I think Sobek, honestly, with all the other Guardians, just kind of going down a little bit, how quick the burst meta is. Sobek, you buy the new spear, you pluck someone into your team, and they're taking more damage after that. He's just feeling really nice. He's up there with like Kumba and Capri levels of just absolute headassery. Speaking of absolute headassery, Soul is hitting different with the new ring. She's definitely not as good as Olrun or Freya. So I think she's the worst out of the 3 mage ADCs, or 4 mage ADCs with Kronos, but she's feeling good now. Auto attacks are hitting. Wukong. Still just think Wukong's kind of bad. I've been killed by him a lot. He definitely has wrecked me before. But, like, King Arthur or Wukong, who would you rather have? That's all I gotta say. Susanoo. These new items have just made Susanoo not as viable, dude. His early game clears just pretty crap. Just doesn't bring as much. Like, I'd rather have Hunbats than Susanoo. The Zuko skin's tough, but I'd rather have Dashi. I'd certainly rather have Mercury. I'd certainly rather have one of these 3. They just outshine him. These 3 just outshine Susanoo so hard. I think I gotta put him down into almost good. Sylvanas. The buffs are nice. They feel good. He does more damage, but he's still just kind of bad, dude. You just get caught out so easily. If the enemy team says, hey, let's just kill Sylvanas right here, they kill you. You know what? You just die. Even if you have your ult, even if you do everything you can, they're still just going to chop you down like the wooden tree you are. Terra, I think Terra is good. I think the auto attack buffs they gave her are good. I think she's one of the better Guardians. I'd rather have Terra than Bacchus. I think she's just good, in a good spot. She's kind of a niche pick. You know, not a lot of people are picking her, but when they do, she's doing pretty well. You know, her level 1 and 2 are bad, but then she hits level 3, and she's just fragging. Thanatos, kind of in the same boat as Susano, just almost good. Definitely better than Bastet and Alquang, but just not as good as, like, Hun Bats. Like, why get Thanatos, you know, when you could get Achilles, or you could get Rat. Like, Thanatos is just bad Rat with the execute, but Rat does so much damage that it just executes you anyway. Morganator, Morganism, S tier for sure. She's up here with these S tier mages. The new spear's nice. Turning into anybody is so good. She slaps. She's got good clear. She's got great late game. She can one-shot any squishy from stealth, which, you know, pretty valuable. I think she's great. Thor, I think Thor is definitely not bad. He's good. I think Thor is a little better than good. He still brings it to the table. His ult's still valuable. He's just like Rat, but Rat got a mega buff and Thor got kind of progressively nerfed, so he's just a little better than good now. Thoth, the new Thoth buffs, he's feeling pretty good, but he's not quite Hebo levels. I think he's more along the Agony range of just like almost there. But these guys just, I feel like, do a little more. I hate seeing Soul above Thoth, but the new auto attack buffs are just, they hit. Speaking of hits, Tier. I think, I'm going to say, I think Tier's a little better than good. He just always seems to be fragging. Great laning, great team fighting, sets up the enemy team so perfectly. You get Blink on Tier, somebody on the enemy team is dying. I think he's great. Uller, I think Uller is also great. I'm tempted to put him up here. I think he's better than these other hunters. And so that's where Uller will go. Vamana, I think Vamana's good. He's in a good spot. It's almost up here. Like, I almost want to put him up here, but I don't think he quite is. Like, he'll still slap in his ult, but with the new buffs to the anti-heal, the new relics, reducing all the shield that he gets from his ult, I just don't think he's up here. He's just too easy to blow up now. Vulcan just doesn't have the survivability that you need of mages these days. Like, Yanis, Baba, hell, so much safer, so much more damage, so much more consistent damage. I don't know. I feel like he's just not as hitting. Shibalonke, a little better than good. He's Shibalonke, baby. He's one of the better hunters. He just slaps people down from a mile away. His ult just causes mayhem and chaos in the enemy team. You can catch people lacking with that. Xing Shen is good. Good disruption. Fling people around with his ult. Got a lot of HP 5, so no, good support. Good solo. Got a lot of sustain. Kind of like a Sobek type beat, but Sobek's just a little better. So he's just good tier. Yamoja. I think Yamoja is a little better than good. But I think the nerfs, dude. I just don't know if she's S tier. Dude. She is. She just is, though. She is. I'm sorry, guys. She's still good. Ymir, almost good, man. He's just a niche pick. Like, you gotta pick him when they don't have any jumps to get out of the wall or something. I don't know. He's just not good in all the games. Like, Rat's good in every game. Ymir's good in some games. Zeus, kind of bad, dude. And Zhongli, almost good. Zeus kind of bad. So easy to kill. You can just go on Zeus and then he dies. And that's kind of the end of it. Zhongli just like, I don't know, man. He's so tanky. He feels super nice after his buffs. But I think I'd rather have a Scylla or a Hebo than a Zhongli, you know? Just doesn't cut it. So that's it, guys. That's the new updated tier list. If you're looking for the best characters to play from what I've seen in my games, ranked, unranked, you know, from watching all the Smite streamers, Smite YouTubers, the pro games, my vast encyclopedia of Smite knowledge, you're better off just picking Rat. All these guys are just way too good right now. They'll clap. These guys will also clap. These guys are going to be better than most characters. These guys are good. Like, you're going to pick them and you're going to do pretty good. You know, you might get fragged by a Rat or Persephone, but you'll still do good. These guys you're going to start finding you're not doing as good in your games. You know, unless you're like a raw main, only snipe people every day. I'm sure you'll be doing good, but you know, if you put all that mindset and effort and focus into becoming like a Persephone main or Yanis main or Heimdallr main, you know, you're gonna find a little more success. These guys are just kind of bad. They just don't have any mobility pretty much. They just don't bring enough of the instant clap the Smite has. They might not have the best clear, they might not have the best early game or the best survivability. And these guys just don't really have enough damage, don't really have enough survivability, don't bring enough to the table. I don't think anybody's really bad right now. I think all the buffs have made people just regular old bad. Yeah. That's the new tier list, guys.